This is important because there are several tasks and commands that you will have to repeat many times throughout the class. So if you know the shortcuts, you can work much faster and more efficiently. If you are in the viewport here and you press the number 1 key on your keyboard, you can then left click and pan around the frame like this. And then if you press the number 2, you can zoom in and out. And then the number 3 will orbit around wherever you click. So it's very good that way, because you can actually point specifically to where you want to go to in your, either on a specific model or a different location in the scene. So once again, number 1 pans, number 2 zooms in and out, and number 3 orbits around your object. In addition to this, there is a camera shortcut which I use a lot. So if I get a new camera and bring it into the scene, and let's look through it using this small circle, this small square rather, when it's white, it means we're looking through this camera right now. And I can once again just continue to move around. And let's say I set a camera position, right? And I really like where this camera is pointing, and then I accidentally move away or, go to a different location, and I want to get back to where I started. Well, in Cinema 4D, you can actually undo only the camera movement in your scene. So if you press Shift, Control, and Z, and you will end up where you started. So it's a very useful shortcut in case you lose where you were before and you want to get back there. If I jump out of the camera, this kind of gives us a God's eye view of everything in the scene. And I'm actually going to remove this to show you a few other shortcuts. So one of the most used tools is going to be the selection tool, which is up here. And you use this to move things and so on. And you just do this by grabbing one of these 3 different axis lines. And if we go to the next one, this is actually the actual move tool. Okay, so they kind of do the same thing. But then the next one is the scale tool, and then you can scale in one direction at a time, or you can click away from all 3, and then that will scale the whole thing. Now this is already to scale, so I won't actually change it. I just wanted to show you. And then the final one is the rotation, which once again you can just use to rotate your objects, and there are shortcuts for all of these. So if you press T, that's the scale, and then if you press R, that's the rotation, and then if you press the spacebar, you would jump back to the original selection tool. Anyway, so that's it, just a few shortcuts which should help you to move around your scene faster. And throughout the class, if I see any other opportunities to show you extra tips, I'll do that. So that's it. If you haven't used shortcuts like that before in Cinema 4D, it may take a while to get used to, but it's worth memorizing.